Good morning, good morning. It is time to dive in to Atomic Habits. We are on chapter 5 and we're talking about the best way to start a new habit. So as you're tuning in, where you're tuning in from, welcome to the Keto Mom page. We are going through this book every morning and the goal is to create systems and habits to where you don't reach your goals in the next 30, 60, 90 days and then all of a sudden spiral out of control and then come back next year to start over again. So my hope is that you're going along or you're going through the book with us, whether you're reading it and watching or you're just watching and taking notes. The point and the goal is to create systems that will help you create a lifestyle to where you don't come back every single year feeling like you have to start over. That is the goal. So as you're tuning in, where are you tuning in from? I am tuning in from Minnesota. It is beautiful out. The sun is shining. It is going to be a great day. Just got done working out. My morning routine, my personal morning routine is great. I think it could always be a little bit better. If you are following along, we did this in the beginning of this month. And so a handful of you are doing the 30-day challenge. We're on day 4, I believe. I think. Maybe we were further than that. I need to go count. But for those of you who are doing this, how is it going and how is your morning going? Are you getting up early? Are you not hitting your snooze button? Do you feel like when you own your morning, you own your day? That is the point of this book. If you don't have this book and you didn't follow along with us, I would encourage you to get the book and go through it. It's a very easy read. And if you want to own your day, it's incredible. So if you feel like, if you're at that point in your life where nothing is working, you've tried everything, you need to make a different pivot, I would challenge you to get this book because it might just be the mindset and making a couple pivots in the morning to own your day, right? Some of you might be going, I just need to be told what to eat. I will tell you what to eat. I can tell you how to track your macros. I can tell you, to go drink more water and drink electrolytes. I can tell you all of those things. But until you have the habits and the systems in place to reach your goal, you're going to keep it moving in a circular motion of like going after it, setting a goal. Maybe you've got enough willpower to hit the goal and then not keeping the habits intact, falling into bad habits, and then starting back over again. I've got to let a dog in. And so we're going to dive through chapter 5. We're going through the book Atomic Habits. Super awesome. For those of you who have the book, how's it going? And I wanted to get through the book in all of June. I don't know if we'll get through the book. I'm trying to walk backwards. I don't know if we'll get through the whole book by the end of June, so we may go into July. So here is what chapter 5 talks about. It's super, super, super great. So pay attention. If you're not going through the book, take some notes. Okay, it starts off with 3 groups. He said, here's the goal that somebody wanted to start. They had a whole group of people, and the goal was I want to work out. Right? They want to get their exercise routine intact. All of these people wanted to get stronger, healthier. Their goal was, I'm going to work out more, right? Has anybody ever set that goal? So they had 3 different groups. The first group was a controlled group, and they simply asked them to track their workouts. Let us know if you work out every day. That was group 1. Group 2 was a motivational group. So they were asked to track their workouts. They were asked to read some type of material, and they also gave them some benefits of why working out would help them. So it would help them with heart disease, and they gave them all of these statistics, right? So group 1 is tell us if you work out. Group 2 is tell us if you work out, read something, we're going to tell you why you should work out. And then group 3 did all of those things, but they had a formulated plan on when they were going to work out. And the formulated plan looked like this. During this next week, I will partake in at least 20 minutes of vigorous exercise on, and it says the day, at a time, in the place. So group 3 was very specific, and that's what we're going to talk about. How did they do? Group 1 and 2 actually, even with the, oh, my dogs are so, hey, Ranger. Even the group 2 that had the more motivation did not do any better than just the group that was just told to track their workouts a day. That's it. You'd think that motivation would maybe make the second group better. It didn't. They all were basically the same. The group that did the best and actually exceeded their expectations was the group that had very specific intentions. So that's what he's going to talk about. He said, we're going to teach you on how to intend. So it talks about, oh goodness, I have to go back. Hold on. So here's what he said. The sentence that the people that filled out that little sentence, I'm going to do something on a specific day, at a specific time, in a specific place, were the ones that actually did the exercise, committed, because they actually set a date. So here's what he's talking about. Okay, they're going to talking about implementing intentions. He said, oh, good grief. I feel like I did not highlight this very good. Okay, here we go. The sentence they filled out is what the researchers referred to as implementation intentions. So he's talking about two different things. We're going to talk about implementation intentions, and then we're going to talk about habit stacking. Two different things. You can do one or both. He says, which is a plan that you make beforehand about when and where you want to take the action. This is how you intend to implement a particular habit. So prior to chapter 5, we talked about cues. And he said the cues that can trigger a habit come in a wide variety of forms. But he said there's two common cues. There's a time and a location. So remember how we talked about earlier this week? A cue would be you drive the same direction every single day. Or a cue is your morning routine. You get up, maybe you make your bed. You should make your bed. Brushing your teeth, going to the bathroom, showering, all of those things, you naturally do something. You guys, this morning I woke up and I was dreaming so hard last night, and the alarm clock went off and I got up to work out, but I honestly think I was in still dream world. I realized as I was going in the kitchen and I was shaking up my ketones and I was doing all of these things, the book popped into my head and I went, I was just like opening cupboards. I felt like I was walking around with my eyes shut. And I was like, oh my goodness, I naturally have a morning routine that I didn't even have to think about it. I went to the cupboard, I grabbed my shaker bottle, I turned the water on, I filled it with ice, I went and grabbed my ketones, and before I knew it, I was like, oh, I felt like I didn't even think. I just had my shaker bottle in my hands and I was ready to go work out. It's a cue, right? And so you do things naturally, and if it's not a good habit and if it's not a good routine in the morning, you've got to switch it up. The first thing we talked about yesterday was being aware. Now he's going to talk about being very specific. My contacts are really bothering me. Anybody else have contacts? Man, you're like, Stephanie, stop blinking. Your eyes are like watering. Okay. Goodness gracious. Happy Friday. Normally I feel like I do a lot better job, but okay. Okay, hundreds of studies have shown that implementation intentions are effective for sticking to your goals. We're going to go through what that looks like. Writing down the exact time and date of when you get, like he gave the example, when you're going to get the flu shot or when you've got your next appointment at the doctor. You write down the exact date, the exact time, and where you're going. That method works for any goal that you're going after. He says that will increase the odds that people will stick to the habits like cycling, studying, going to sleep early, stopping smoking, anything that you want to do. If you can create this system of like the when, the date, the time, and the place, you're going to stick with it and create a habit. So first of all, my question to you is this. What is the habit that you want to do right now? What is something that you're like, one thing. I want you to think of one thing today because I want you to put this into place so you can start the action to create the habit. What is one thing? I need you to type below that you want to start. I want to work out, right? We're going to get more specific. I want to eat healthy. He's going to talk about that. Like these are very broad. I want to drink more water. I want to read. I want to, what is it? I want to meditate. And I'm saying like health goals because you're all here for a health reason, right? Some of you might be going, I want a better marriage. I want a better relationship with my kids. I want time freedom. I want financial freedom. Okay, so the punchline is clear. People who make a specific plan for when and where they will perform a new habit are more likely to follow through, okay? So he said, here's what people tell themselves. I'm going to eat healthier. I'm going to write a book. but we never say when and where. So these habits, are they going to happen? He goes, we leave it up to chance and we hope that we'll remember to do it someday. Or if we feel motivated. But he goes, here's what happens. If you leave it up to chance, if you leave it up to, I hope I remember to drink my water. I hope I remember to go work out tonight after I get home, but usually I'm tired. If you leave it to chance, or it's not a big deal, I already said I'm going to eat healthier, but you don't take the action and put the specific steps in place, guess what? Life happens, circumstances happen, environments happen, and so you're going to have to get specific. Many people think they lack motivation when really they just lack clarity. He said it's not always obvious when and where to take the action. Some people spend their entire lives waiting for the perfect time. This is what we love to I tell my team this, I tell my kids this when they're working on sports or anything in our life. It doesn't matter. We say don't mess up good for perfect, right? So there's not a perfect time. Are you going to wait for July 1st to start? Are you going to wait for Monday to start? That's around the corner. That might work great for you. And he would say this, if you need that starting point, awesome. Wait for the next beginning of the week or the beginning of the month, but you've got to have the action steps and the very specific implementation in place in order to keep going and create a habit. So here's what you need to do. I will behavior at a time in a location. For example, I will meditate for 1 minute at 7 a.m. in my kitchen. I will study Spanish for 20 minutes at 6 p.m. in my bedroom. I will exercise for 1 hour at 5 p.m. in my local gym. So that's the first part. What do you want to do? I want to know what your goal is and a specific time and a specific location. If you aren't sure when to start your habit, then he said try the first day of the week, the first month, and so on and so forth, just to get you to where you're like, okay, I've got this. Man, he goes through so much. I really would encourage you, if your goal is to seriously get healthier, get in shape, create habits, to not create this vicious hamster cycle of over and over and restarting over and over, get the book. Get the book and go through it, highlight it, take the action, follow it. He shares a whole bunch of stories. He talks about different cues. And so he says, when it comes to building new habits, you can use connectedness of behavior to your advantage. For one of the best ways to build a new habit is to identify a current habit. So we talked about being specific, time and place, right? He also talks about habit stacking. So what you could do is that you could look at your whole morning, and if you feel like you've got your morning routine intact and you want to implement something different, like, okay, my morning feels great, I own my morning, and I want to be drinking more water, and I want to include a workout, and I want to include meditation, or I would like to include something different in my morning like journaling. You take something that you're already doing that you feel like is great, and you're going to add in another habit in that place. Does that make sense? For example, after I pour my cup of coffee each morning, I will meditate for 1 minute. So you're taking something that you're already doing, which you feel like is great, and it's already a habit, and you add something on right after it. After I take off my work shoes, I will immediately change into my workout clothes. After I get out of bed and I drink my water and I brush my teeth, I will do 20 minutes of working out. And he gives you a whole bunch of things. The key is to tie a desired habit or behavior into something that you're already doing each day. So there's two different things. He's talking about implementing intentions, and he's talking about habit stacking, right? If you already feel like you've got good habits, add a new habit on, a good one to keep going. If you don't have anything that you're working on, then you need to get specific with a time and a date and a place. So he lays out habits and more habits, new behaviors. Is this making sense? I'd love to know if it's making sense to you. I feel like you should just get the book. Okay, don't ask yourself to do a habit when you're likely to be occupied with something else. So he talks about don't be like, I'm going to go work out in the middle of the day. When you don't have the intention, when it's easily to get distracted, like you've got to figure out when would be the best time and then name that place and time and specific date, okay? All right. He said habits like reading more, I want to eat better, are worthy causes, but these goals do not provide instructions on how to and when to act. Be specific and be clear. After I close the door, after I brush my teeth, after I sit down at the table. The specificity, I don't know that word. Specificity is important. The more tightly bound your new habit is to a specific cue, the better the odds are that you will notice when the time comes to act. The first law of behavior of change is to make it obvious. It needs to be specific. Strategies and implement. So he said strategies like implementation intentions, the date, the time, and the when and the place, and or habit stacking are among the many practices of how to create a healthy habit and healthy system. I hope this is making sense. I think it's great. So just to go over what he talks about in this chapter, the first law of behavior change is making it obvious. Yesterday we talked about awareness, right? The two most common cues are time and location. Creating an implementation intention is a strategy you can use to pair a new habit with specific times and locations. Habit stacking is a strategy you can use to pair a new habit with a current habit, a good habit. The habit stacking formula is a current habit, and then I will add on a new habit. If you just need to start something, I want to drink more water every single day at the times that my alarm clock goes off. I'm trying to think of how you would add more water specifically. I want to drink more water every single day, and you could even say, and I set an alarm clock for ... What I would say for that one is, a lot of you are like, I just can't get my water in. I'm going to set an alarm clock every night for the following day to drink my water, because what's super helpful is if you set an alarm clock so your phone goes off at, I'm just giving you an idea for this one. If your alarm clock goes off, to wake up, and then there's a 5-minute alarm clock later that says drink water, and then 30 minutes later, drink your water, and then an hour later, drink your water. I know it sounds repetitive, but it works. If your phone is dinging you every 30 to 45 minutes to an hour to drink water, you're going to get into the habit of drinking water. Or you want to start working out. I'm going to work out every day at 6 o'clock in the morning after my alarm clock goes off upstairs in my workout room. That's mine. What is yours? What is the one thing you want to work on? It doesn't have to be working out. Like, what do you want to accomplish? If you want to eat healthy, then you're going to have to get specific, right? And one of the things might be, I'm going to, every Sunday at 2 o'clock, I'm going to sit down at my table and I'm going to plan my menu for the week. That's one habit, right? And then we'll go from there. So I wish I could help you create all of your habits. It depends on what you want to go after. The book is great. If you're one of those people that are like, I don't read, I need you to start reading or listening. You could listen to the book. But the point is, there's already people that have done it before you. You don't have to recreate the wheel. And if you look at something that you want to accomplish and you go, that looks hard, I'd love to do it, I don't know how to do it, guess what? Somebody's already done it. You just have to go seek out the information, seek out the book, seek out the mentor, and copy the action. You don't have to recreate a wheel. You don't have to go figure it out all by yourself, but you do have to get the discipline, take the action to read, and then put it into play. So I hope it's going great. We're on chapter 5. Time to go create some new habits and systems so that you can own your life. So I hope that was helpful. Sometimes I think it gets wordy, but the book is great, so I try to do the best I can to explain it to you. But otherwise, I hope you have an incredible Friday. Always reach out with any questions that you have, whether it's about how to get started. I have a foods list how I started and a little video that goes to it. Anything. Reach out. I'm always here to help. I hope you have a great day.